Admiral Torresi, thank you for joining and speaking to Al Jazeera Balkans. Let's start with the reason that you're here. It's the NATO Symposium 360. What is its importance for the world we live in today and for the region of the Western Balkans?
Well, let me begin by saying that NATO is a political military organization, as you know. And the military instrument of power that is the main purpose of the alliance has the task to defend the alliance and deter possible adversary, potential peer competitors. That is, of course, the main purpose, but we have another priority that goes under the name cooperative security. It is a way for us to remind ourselves that alone the 32 allied are a very powerful network of nations, but alone we know we cannot be completely successful. We need partners out there to support us, to make us better in the situational awareness as well as in the decision-making processes. And for the reason, cooperative security is a way for us to reach out to potential partners, like-minded nations, if you want, to establish with them tailored, individual ways of cooperating with NATO, without forcing them, by the way. It is an open possibility that NATO gives to any partner out there. And believe it or not, we have at this stage 40 partners cooperating at different stages with NATO. And by doing that, we make, we believe, our alliance more safe, more secure, and we help those partners to feel more secure as well.
Speaking about the region, we have interesting dynamics here. On one hand, we have, for example, Bosnia and Herzegovina that does have a proclaimed interest into joining the alliance. However, it has some serious obstacles along the way. At the same time, we have Serbia that seemingly is not too interested in joining the NATO alliance, but at the same time is very active in all these interoperability trainings and synchronizations with the alliance. Where do you see the region going in this sense, in the sense of security and joining of the alliance?
Well, consider that the individual tailored programs we have with each partner go across different levels of cooperation. We begin by explaining to them through defense capability building programs how to build their own institutions, and not only the defense institution. Think about security institutions, for instance, police forces, and then they can access through different levels and through different timelines to interoperability programs. Interoperability means a way to work together, to speak the same language, to use the same procedure. So the more a partner wants to connect with NATO, the better the interoperability will become, until one day, automatically or independently, they might be deciding to join the alliance. And if their level is already very high in terms of interoperability and defense capacity building, the better and faster it's going to be. Think about Sweden and Finland. The moment they decide to join the alliance, having had with NATO a long-lasting interoperability program, a long-lasting tailored program for partnership, it took them less than 1 year to join the alliance. As I said, each country, independently from the others, each partner country is free to choose a level of partnership with NATO. Politically speaking, I cannot answer your question because I am a military officer in charge of carrying on our NATO leadership political decisions. So the political level of NATO is in charge of dealing with the political needs of each partner. But once the decision is taken at that level to foster, implement military interoperability programs, then it is my job to make sure that that happens. And I do that, we do that as NATO, as I said, individually. So we are going to have, like we do, specific programs with Serbia at the level that the Serbian political level decides, as we are having with Bosnia and Herzegovina at this stage. They've been partners with us in the so-called Partnership for Peace program since 2006. They've been participating to NATO training, NATO exercises, and also in NATO missions that are, I believe, making sure that they are getting better militarily and getting closer to NATO from a political point of view.
After the war in the 90s, certain countries in the region were signatories to certain agreements that were put in place in order to regulate and control the levels of armament in the region. How do the heightened levels of armament in the region today correlate with those agreements and with certain levels that were put in place before the current situation?
Well, again, it's a very difficult question for me, being a military officer, to answer.
From the military point of view?
From the military point of view, again, depends on the level of partnership that those countries are having with NATO. We are a military organization, as I said, and we need military instruments to do our job, to defend and deter the alliance first, and with the partners that choose to cooperate with us, defend the region where those partners are located. More weapons not necessarily mean a threat or mean additional challenges for NATO. The need for us, with those nations that decide to procure more armaments, as I said at the beginning, is to be able to be interoperable, to be able to use those combination of weapons, will, training, and education, speaking the same language and using them in the same manner.
We are 2.5 years into the Russian war against Ukraine, and as we know, NATO has been heavily involved in defending Ukraine. However, recently we're hearing from Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky that there is this certain plan for victory, which, in his opinion, will never include the occupied territories to go to Russia. What is NATO's stance on this, and are there certain deadlines or red lines for NATO when it comes to Ukraine?
I wouldn't know, and I prefer to answer your question by telling you what is happening at the moment to make sure that whatever are the Ukrainians' expectations, those are met. At this stage, the alliance is very deeply engaged with the Ukrainian armed forces and political level as well. From a military standpoint, we have a NATO support mission in place where NATO personnel is training the Ukrainian armed forces to use the material that NATO nations are providing to Ukraine to try to resist to the Russian illegal invasion of their country. I work, as I probably told you, in Allied Command Transformation. Is the strategic command in Norfolk that is in charge of warfare development of the alliance. So my job is to look at the future. And in that area of responsibility, my job is to set up a joint analysis, training, and education center for the Ukrainian forces in order to help them shape their own future. Through education, as I said, training, and lesson learned from the war activities. Well, as our political leadership told us, as long as it takes. So we will continue, as we have been ordered, to support Ukraine in terms of education, training, and making them more interoperable with NATO. Because at the end of the day, we believe that the final destination of that journey will be for Ukraine to join the alliance.
Admiral Torresi, thank you very much for speaking to Al Jazeera Balkans.
It's been a pleasure to me as well. Thanks a lot.